Hi everybody, I hope you're all enjoying spring, and for those of you who are watching it from the southern hemisphere, I know there are a few of you, I hope you're not having too terrible a winter. I don't think so, knowing where you come from. It's probably as good as our summer. We had a lovely afternoon at the RSPB Strumpshaw Fen, just east of Norwich. I had a hospital appointment in the morning, so as the hospital was halfway between us and Strumpshaw Fen, we decided to go on to Strumpshaw Fen in the afternoon. We saw lots of different things, and I'll be putting a few videos up in the next couple of days, but we saw actually 4 Chinese water deer. The first one was in the afternoon, and I'm not sure who was the most surprised, me or the Chinese water deer, because it was out in the open about mid-afternoon. I'm not sure he knew what a mobility scooter was, but by the time I'd got my camera up to take a picture of him, he'd gone into the reed bed. So I lost the opportunity to film that one. But later on, we saw 3 together. Well, not quite together. There were 2 in one segment of the reed bed and 1 in another one. A bit too far apart to get all 3 in the same shot, but probably within 100 yards of each other. Now, if you've never seen a Chinese water deer, it's bigger than a muntjac but smaller than a roe deer. There's quite a different coat. You can see it's a sort of a soft browny colour. There are some very big differences though between this deer and our natural deer, is that it doesn't have antlers at all. It has tusks, which are only visible in the adult deer, and they use these in much the same way as our deer use them during the ruts, as weapons and defence. And it shows that perhaps this deer is a lot older than some of our deer, because it was before the time that antlers actually evolved in deer. They're not a pest or anything like that, because we only have them in small numbers in this country. They tend to take the more succulent species, the water species, where they live in the broads and the reed beds. They also chew bark and branches during the winter when food is scarce, and only occasionally do they come on to fields where crops are growing, and then only normally during the winter to take the tops off of the root crops. They're quite easily distinguishable if you see their face. Their ears, you can only describe them as teddy bear ears, and their tusks if they're adults. Unfortunately, there was a lot of reeds and growth between us and the deer on this occasion, so we didn't get any clear shots of them, just a few which I put in there. If you don't know about them, Chinese water deer were first kept in London Zoo in 1873. But then in 1929 some escaped from Whipsnade Zoo, and they've spread through Bedfordshire, Cambridgeshire and Norfolk, with a few scattered elsewhere. We've seen quite a few of these deer from the North Norfolk coast to the South Norfolk boundary, and we've seen quite a few at Strumpshaw Fen in the past, and we've had some real close encounters with them at Strumpshaw Fen. Most people say that they're nocturnal, but we've seen them at all times of the day, and I think they respond to being on a reserve like this, where they're perhaps not getting so bothered as if they were in open ground. But they're quite beautiful little creatures in their own way, and if you ever get the chance to look for them, Cambridgeshire is a good county to see them in, as is Bedfordshire, but also, as I say, in Norfolk. Anyway, I'll be putting up a video of our afternoon at Strumpshaw Fen and other little bits and pieces from that afternoon. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.